Good evening. As most of you know, I'm Ethan, and it's certainly been a pleasure to serve this community for the last 3 years. Many people ask me on my journey throughout the state, even working with people in the community, what led you to do this? Why did you step out and seek this office? Well, it's really quite simple, and it really affects a lot of you. Like many of you, I too have children. I'm raising my children in this community, and I want them to be afforded the opportunity to do the same thing. But in order to do so, they have to have a good quality of life in order to come back here. When taking office in 2013, many families were struggling just to make ends meet. We were facing unemployment rates of 12.5%, which is pretty significant. Over a lot of hard work and dedication and perseverance, we've been able to reduce that. But how have we done that? We've located 2 U.S. headquarters in this community since 2013. We've also added Catalina carpets. We've also added Polytech fibers. We've worked with other companies to do expansions throughout the community, which has added hundreds of jobs. And by focusing on this, we've reduced our unemployment rate almost in half, to 7%. Some other things that we have done is build relationships with our local and federal partners and other private industries as well in order to leverage resources and be able to get financial support in our community to better help the citizens of Maury County. Over the last 3 years, we've been able to obtain $11.7 million worth of grant funds to help brighten our future and put those dollars back into our community to use those to the best of our ability. We've done other things to make the community proud and to be proud of. We've added recreational facilities for our children. We've added a playground out at this facility, but we've also taken it a step further and made it equipped so children with special needs can play alongside other children. We partnered with private industry to get turf donated, so when those children fall, they don't have a fear of getting hurt. We also have a splash pad that we utilize a private foundation for that'll open later this spring. This is truly just a glimpse of the things that we've done in the last 3 years. And I'm proud of my record of doing what I said I would, progress our community. And that gives you a good insight as to what we'll continue to do and continue to work hard for you going forward in the next term in our room.
I'd be better off saying that. My name's Greg Hogan, 54 years old. Y'all hear me? 54 years old. I'm a former commissioner of Maury County. I filled a term for David Ridley. He resigned. Was in office for 16 months. Felt that I'd done a good job. Could have done more if I'd got to stay, full 4 years. I'm married to my wife, Donna, more than 21 years. My daughter, Sarah, she's here tonight. We've got 4 grandchildren and a son-in-law. It's my wife's son-in-law. But anyway, some of my accomplishments while I was in office, I set the groundwork for MatTex to come in and show them the property where they are currently located. Scott Minner talked about the hospital. I appointed Scott to that board. I needed good people on that board for this hospital to survive. This hospital was fixing to go bankrupt. And he's right, it was full, voluntary people doing these things to make this work, to where we would have a hospital and not have to go to Dalton, or not have to go to Calhoun. Granted, these things that probably the commissioner that was in office when I won the election, I took credit for some of the things he did. And if I beat Miss Pittman, she probably don't have some of the things that the groundwork has been said when I'm in office. Everybody's got to work as a team in this county. You cannot governments be into it with each other. Your county's got to work with both municipalities to try to get industry in here, to try to create jobs. She talks about job growth. Let me bring this point up. Growth is growth. But when you take Galaxy, their yarn plant shut down. You take Green Weavers, that's engineered floors, they've shut down. That's probably 250, 300 jobs. I mean, it's a balancing act. But what I'm asking you today, if you want a commissioner that will not keep you in the dark on issues, that will answer your phone calls and give you enough respect to call you back, vote for me.
Talk about your top accomplishment. Now this is for both of you, since y'all both are city commissioners. Your top accomplishment while you were in office.
Well, I think certainly reducing our unemployment rate in half is a huge accomplishment. And while granted, we have lost jobs, but we've made up for that threefold in order to reduce our unemployment rate in half. So I think that's a huge accomplishment. We've also been able to maintain the hospital, keeping its doors open. And while Greg alluded to, yes, he terminated the contract with Hamilton, but we had to go out and find another affiliate hospital in order to partner with, in order to be able to have a sustainable hospital. When I walked into office, it was not profitable. It was not making money. And we could not continue to fund it if it was not going to continue to make money. So therefore, we had to go out, we had to find a larger partner in order to work with, in order to continue to provide quality health care to the community, and also to be able to provide that ambulatory service that we so desperately need. We worked to be able to receive grant funds, to provide some of the infrastructure needs that we need in the community, to be able to provide services to the elderly, and many other things. So I think we've done a great job of that in the last 3 years.
I think one of my greatest accomplishments is I have always had an open door policy. You didn't have to have an appointment when you wanted to come see me. I may be out on the road looking at an issue that someone has. Been criticized. Instead of hiring extra help, I would get on a trackhoe. I would get on a bulldozer and do what needed to be done for 2 or 3 hours and go back to the office in my dress clothes with dust on. I'm not too good to get on the show. I'm not too good to go to Atlanta and sit down with Governor Lee. I've done it. Been there. But it takes a lot of common sense to do a job like this. You've got to be knowledgeable, but you also got to have common sense at the end of the day to know right from wrong. But one of my greatest accomplishments, I think, is the hospital. And the commissioner done a great thing by getting Gordon to take this hospital, because it was in very much dire need. Is that it?
All right, you're up next. He'll start with this. Oh, if you want to remember, yes.
I think I'm very accessible. While I may not be in the office, you cannot always get everything accomplished that a county needs by sitting behind a desk. I think our resources are better utilized by the commissioner not being on a piece of equipment, but by building relationships with those state and federal partners so we can better access funds for our community. We just launched a mobile app so we can be accessible. So if people have a problem, if they have an issue on the road, they can take a picture of anything that they see that needs to be repaired and get it to us 24/7. My cell phone number is printed on my business card. People can call me at any time, and I will return.
Next question. If elected, what do you see, what specific future plans for the inland port would you have?
The inland port. I'll just be straight up, I'm not against that port. We need that port here. I'm just not real crazy about the location. And I guess my hang-up is because of the church. That's my biggest hang-up. It's these other properties, but I know the cost of running utilities and water and things like that, it's going to be astronomical. But, it is what it is. It's here, no matter where it goes, you're going to have the same issue as you got right here. But this is a very sensitive issue because of the HUD wilderness. You got Petty Park, you've got these residential homes right in front of this thing, but we do need this port. for economic growth. If we do not keep this port in Murray County somewhere, eventually we will die. We will die because of economic growth is just not there.
My plans are to continue to move forward with the inland port. I worked on the project for 2 years. I advocated for this project to be in Murray County and not in some of the other surrounding counties as they wanted it to. I fought for the funding for this project. I'm a strong believer that this project is going to be a catalyst for the future growth of our community. It's going to allow us to diversify our industry base. It puts us in a competitive advantage to be able to attract tier 2 and tier 3 suppliers for Volkswagen. Diversify our industry so all of our eggs are not in one basket. We're not relying on the floor cover industry to suffice our local economy. If we find ourselves in another situation as we did in 2008 with the economy declining, we're not going to be faced with another unemployment rate in double digits. We're going to have the diversified industry to be able to carry us through. So my plan is to continue to move forward, to get people back to work, and look at the benefits that this port has meant to other areas. It's created thousands of jobs and hundreds of billions of dollars worth of investment in those communities. That's what we're going to see as a result of this work.
Okay. Thanks. How do you balance, all right, confidentiality of working on the pool with the public's need to hear what the government is doing? So how do you go about balancing that? And how long before the public would find out about any particular project?
Right. Well, anytime you deal with economic development projects, there's always confidentiality clauses that are signed, especially when you have private industry that you're dealing with. They have proprietary information in their business plans that they do not want disclosed. They don't want their competition knowing what they're planning to do. So we signed those non-disclosure agreements and said that we would not speak to these projects until they were ready to announce. And that's very common practice, and it's unfortunate, and I can sympathize. And certainly don't want people in the community to think that I was trying to hide anything from them or be misleading. But it's just certainly a very common practice that you have to follow if you want to be in competition for these projects. If you go out and talk about these projects, oftentimes you lose them. You get scratched. You are off the radar for a project you're going to go out and discuss it. That's the number one rule. So you have to hold that confidentiality at a very high level in order to even be seen as competitive.
I know exactly what Ms. Pittman's talking about. I know how economic development works. And I know there's a lot of people sitting in here tonight that's mad about this pool being in the front door. You know, it's kind of like, here's your bag of rattlesnakes. Surprise! You know? But it's a very fine line. How you balance anything to do with economic development. You cannot get out here and you cannot, if Walmart wanted to come, you can't get out here and just, hey, Walmart's coming. We don't, you know, we've heard they're coming. I heard that for nearly 2 years while I was in office. Walmart's coming. And yes, I did. I talked to Walmart, but they're still not here. It's a fine line, people. And you just got to walk a fine line. I mean, that's the only thing I'm going to tell you.
All right. Now that the inland port is here, in your case, now that the inland port is here, there are expansion plans. And there are going to be some people who will not want to sell their property. How are you going to balance their rights against that expansion?
Y'all ever heard of inland domain? This could happen at this point. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. 42 acres is not a lot of property. This board has the option to obtain more property on the other side of Shoemaker Creek. That's not enough property. the meetings that I've been to, and don't hold me to this because it's hard to get any public record about this port. I think maybe some come out today about it, but, you know, eminent domain could take that church if they seem fit, if they needed to take the church. And I have a problem with that. But, like I say, we need this port somewhere, but I don't like the location.
I appreciate the opportunity to answer this question because unfortunately, I think there's a lot of misinformation that's out there, and this gives me a good opportunity to try to address some of that. There has been some maps outlined with some parcels on there. When this project originally started, we outlined large tracts of property from all the way to the Tennessee line, all the way south of Gordon County. That was just a common practice. This port is going to be well suited on the 42 acres that it has acquired. The first phase of it is only going to take 27 acres. There's plenty of room for the second phase if needed. There is no intent to utilize eminent domain. I appreciate someone came to my office and asked me about that. I was very straightforward with them about that and encouraged them to call Georgia Ports Authority, as they did, and talk with them about that if they had any further questions. Eminent domain is not going to be enforced, and if a private property owner wants to sell their property, that's completely and entirely their choice and up to them. If they don't sell it. But the Georgia Ports Authority is not going to need any additional property, nor is CSX.
Because of time, I've got one more question, and then there are other questions, they're good questions, that have not been asked. Please see the candidates after if you have questions. So here's the closing question. Because of the, I guess this economic activity and also people being aggravated about the inland port, it is the responsibility of a commissioner to unify our county, right? How would you, during this coming term, unify us and move us forward from this?
We've put things in place in order to try to keep the community more informed. I mentioned the mobile app. That's a way for us to be able to get information out to the public. It's a way for the public to be able to submit information and questions from us. It gives a directory to every office that we have. It gives cell phone numbers for those that want to list those. It even connects businesses with people in the community and citizens throughout the community. I started Commissioner's Corner, which is a great way for citizens to submit questions to the Commissioner's office or through the local government, and it allows us an opportunity to answer those questions. My door is always open. Am I always in that office? No. I may be out working on a project, or I may be meeting with someone else, but I'm always accessible. And it was referred to working off appointments. I do that because I want to be able to give those people that take the time out to come and see me the individual attention that they deserve, be able to address the problem or the concern that they have. So I think we just continue to try to get information out and get the community engaged. And when we were looking to do projects at the playground, we took community input. And we'll continue to do that and try to reach out to the community to get their involvement.
What would you do to unify the community? Try to reunify the community after this one?
When people get mad, they're mad. It's just going to take time to unify the county back. I'm talking probably years and years. But, you know, you're just going to have to try to keep a good smile and good morale about you. And talk to people. Go out and talk to these people that's mad. Talk to the people that's not mad. And try to get these people over this. Because this is very, very personal to a lot of people that live up here. And it's very, very personal to a lot of people that live down here that said, we want this port is going to be here, it's a done deal, we want it. You know? But you're just going to have to talk and maybe have some gatherings at the rec center. You know, just have a barbecue cook-off and say, hey, you know, y'all come out here and let's just have some fun. You know, that's the only thing I know to do.
These would be the 3-minute closing. 3-minute closing.
When campaigning back in 2012, I had one platform, and that was job creation. That was economic development. So we can continue to work to bring our community forward. And that has been a primary focus of mine, and I think that my results from the time in office have shown that. We have continued to improve our local economics, but we still have a long way to go. In order to do that, we have to keep consistency. We have to keep continuity within the commissioner's office. Not only to finish the projects that we've started, but to work on the projects that we have in the pipeline and use that momentum to carry us forward and to create a brighter future for our community. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. We have to have a sustainable future. And by me remaining in office, we'll have that consistency, we'll have that continuity to be able to continue to work on these projects, to get the things done that need to be done, and to continue to build those relationships. So I would ask for your support in the upcoming election on May 24th.
When I was commissioner, I put $1 million in SPOS for paving infrastructure. I am big on roads. I want these roads to where I don't tire my wife's truck up trying to get over here. One of my number one priorities would be to get these roads back to where they need to be. That being said, perception is 99% of a first impression. I said when I stood up the first time, and my wife's been married for over 21 years. I take ethics very, very seriously. This is a copy of an ethics agreement that every elected official that is in office signed. I have no problem signing this paper. I'll tell you this. I think the community deserves, if you're in office, I think that you should put yourself to a higher standard. I think you should, hold yourself to a higher standard. Be respectful, and people's going to respect you. That being said, early voting starts Monday. Vote for me, 24th of May. Thank you. Thank you all so much.